Good morning นะครับ everyone. Today นะครับ we are going to continue talking about the things that we studied on the last class, and then I have to talk about the makeup class as well because I just like owe you for the makeup class นะครับ two makeup classes already นะครับ and then I just like plan for you already นะครับ um, all right. So let's talk about like the content that we have to study today first. We are going to continue talking about the let's see, functions that we learned, the features that we learned from the last class. Okay, everyone, could you please open up your Excel, my first book file that we used on the last class. On the last class, we talked about the two input array. Two input array is a way that we use Excel feature in order to help generating the data in the table that we need to have like to see the differences or to see the variation of some values especially when we have the data for like two different variables there are like different names that you can search on the internet or from the manual. You will see like the terms like two input array, two input variable table, two variable table, or two variable data table. They are the same thing. So let me have the recap for what we studied from the last class. When we have to think about the two input arrays, we think about the table that comes in terms of like the differences between two things. In this example, we would like to see the variation of some data when we have different expenses and different growth like this. The things that we need to have is that, okay, first one, the formula that are related to these two variables. The things that you have to do first is that you prepare a blank table like this and then you just have like the variation of two variables as a heading heading rows and heading columns of that table. In this example, assume that we are talking about the sales projection of the company. The sales projection of this company we are focusing on two different variables that are expense and growth. Okay, so we just like prepare expense and growth in this table. After that we prepare the worksheet with a formula. For example, in here, in order to have the project sales, project sales in here come from the sales amount plus sales amount times growth minus sales amount times expense. Okay, in here the formula here must be the referencing for especially for the expense and the growth. They must be in different cells like this one. We put growth in one cell, expense in another cell. You can see that it's on cell C6 and C7 like this. That comes to the formula of the project sales like this. After that, on the top left corner of the table, the yellow cell that I have must be the reference to the formula that we have got in a green cell like this. The reason is because when we run the two input array table, it will like substitute the value in each row and in each column. I mean, for different expense and different growth in this cell for us. Okay, then I just put equals and then followed by C9. This is the referencing to the formula. After that, when I have the formula already, I highlight the whole table and then it's ready to prepare our two input array. We go to data tab, what if analysis, and data table. Now another important step is that you have to enter the correct row input and column input. When we talk about row input, row input means that, okay, which headings นะครับ is spanned in the same row. In this one, you can see that the things or the variable that spans in the same row is expense. Then which cell that you have the expense located. You can see that in this example, expense is located in the cell C7. Then I click on C7. For column input cell, it's the variable that span in the same column. Here means a growth. Here means a growth. So the growth in this formula come from the cell C6. And then you click OK. Then the data table will be generated automatically. In order to check whether your table is correct or not, you just simply randomly check. For example, in here, it's 2% growth, 20% expense. So it's 2% growth is here, 20% expense is so in here it's 717,500. Yeah, it's the same value. Now you may randomly check another cell. For example, I say that I would like to check for 6% growth, 40% expense. I try to enter 6% growth and 40% expense and see right now I have 577,500. Now I check is 577,500. Yeah, it's the same number. So if you just randomly check one or two cells like this, and this table can be generated the same as the value in your formula. That means it is correct. This table is correct. But in which situation that it might be wrong in here, assume that okay, I just like create the table wrongly in here. I choose row input cell as growth, column input cell as expense. Let's see. Somebody asked me that, Ajahn, what happened to my cells in here when I have like hatches, a lot of hatches like this? Some of you may forgot already when you have a lot of hatches without any value to display there's nothing wrong. It is just like the too narrow column only. So the way to solve is that you just widen the column. Just that. Okay. Now let's have a look. In this one, you can see that when we have 6% growth, 40% expense, we get 1.172 million. Wow, the exact calculation is 577,000 only. So that means this one you are doing something wrong already. So when you have just one check, it's wrong like this. So this one you cannot use it. You have to just like think. You have to revise your action, what you did in order to find the data table. Next on, the things that you also have to check sometimes when you do something wrong. The things that might be happen is that the data in the table in every cell shows the same value. That one is wrong. That one is wrong too. Then you have to fix the problem. Now let's see. The next thing that I just like want to show you is that how do we gonna eliminate sorry, not eliminate, to clear the table. What should we do? You can see that each cell in this table, actually it's generated automatically. You cannot change or you cannot edit any sales value. So it means that, for example, if I say that I want to change 1% growth and 10% expense to be like 500,000. If I type 500,000 manually and press enter, it shows error, right? Everyone please try go to any cells in your table not growth or percent the generated values, and type something and press enter and see what happened. You should get the same thing as my one. It shows can change part of a data table. It means that นะครับ the data table doesn't allow you to manually change the value inside. Some of you said, hey, but I think there must be something wrong. Then you have to fix in the formula and change in the formula and regenerate the table นะครับ but you are not allowed to change นะครับ any values in here. Even you try to delete a cell. For example, I try to delete 6% growth and 40% expense project cells. In here, I press delete button. It doesn't allow me to delete. It said can change part of a data table. So that comes to a problem. Some of you say that, hey, I don't want this table because it's wrong. What should I do? Then the way to do is that you have to highlight นะครับ every generated cells like this. And then you might right click and choose clear contents. Then it will be clear out. So that means if you don't want the table, you have to clear the whole table, not just a cell. Okay, let me undo first. Or apart from right click and choose clear data, you may highlight the whole cell and press delete. It's the same thing. You can clear out the data in here as well. Now, if you say that, okay, the formula is changed, or whatever thing is changed, you would like to regenerate the table, you just like redo the steps. Enter the reference, and make sure that the formula is correct. After that, you highlight the cells, the whole table. And after that, you just go to data, what if analysis, data table, and then choose everything again. Now let's see. Somebody did like this. They type 577,500. In here, you can see that they look the same. Yellow cell and green cell here. But actually, I told you that on the top left corner, it must be a reference to a formula. But this one is not a referencing. It's just like manually typing 577,500. So what happens if I try to generate the data table from this existing table here? I go to data tab, choose what if analysis and data table. Row input cell, I choose expense, because this is in the same row. Column input cell, it's growth. Then I choose growth that is in C6. Okay. Then I click OK. You can see that right now, my table generate everything as the same value. That is 577,500. The reason is because you can see that the top left corner, it is not the formula. That's why it cannot show the correct value. It just shows the value that you have got in the yellow cell only. So how to fix? You change the top left corner to be a referencing. Now it just like go to just like fix it for you already, like this. Or somebody, if you are not okay with that, you can just like clear out the data first, clear out the top left corner cell in the yellow cell here, and then regenerate everything once again. Then you get the correct one. So this is the two input array that help us in order to generate the table instead of manually typing the formula in each cell that wastes a lot of time. What is the application of using this kind of two input array? Somebody may say that, okay, when they have some of the table that we use to show the customer about the percentage of the interest, and the number of period that customer has to pay. For example, if you go to the car showroom and you plan to buy a new car, but if you would like to buy it as the installments, the things that you may ask from the representative, the sales representative, is that I want to see the table of like the installment that I have to pay. If I would like to pay in 4 years or 5 years or 6 years, they will have like different rates for you. They will have like different amount that you have to pay monthly. So that means you just like play with the financial function like the PMT function, something like that. While PMT function, if you remember, we have the arguments that also contains n per and rate. Then you have n per span in column, rate span in row, something like this. And then you just like use the PMT function as a green cell like this, and then you can generate this data table directly by using like the same ideas. So this is the data table. So up to this point, do you have any questions for the 2-input array or 2-variable data table? Okay. If you don't have any questions, now I'm going to talk about the next topic. The next topic that I'm going to talk about is what we call goal seek. So everyone please create a new worksheet insert a new worksheet and call it as goal seek So this is a worksheet called goal seek. Let me talk about goal seek first. What is it? Goal seek is a feature I call it as a feature Whenever I call anything in Excel as a feature, it means that it is like some capabilities of Excel in order to generate something for you. Most of the features in Microsoft Excel, you cannot see the trace of what we did. For example, for the goal seek here, when you just like use it already, later on, we don't know what we did before, but we get what we want. Goal seek feature is the feature in Excel in order to backtrack for like some values that you want back to the origin. So okay, let me just like give you some example first so that you can just like have like some more idea about the goal seek. Okay. Suppose I'm talking about the multiplication The basic multiplication in mathematics come from like two operands that you multiply together. Assume that we have three things: operand 1, operand 2, and multiplication results. Suppose you have 5 and 6 as operand 1, operand 2. The multiplication result come from the multiplying of operand 1 with operand 2. In this example, it's D3 times E3. You can see that from this calculation, it's easy for us. Suppose we say that, okay, we have operand 1 and operand 2 like this already. Assume that if we have, if we would like to have multiplication result as 20. Hang on, 60. Okay, let's say 60. And then operand 2 is 6. So in this one, you know immediately that, okay, operand 1 must be 10, right? Must be 10. So you can see that in order to find this kind of thing, if it is just like the basic multiplication like this, it is easy, right? Because you know that, okay, you learn from statistics. Suppose we say that operand x, operand 1 is x, operand 2 is y. multiplication result is x times y. X times y in here. So in here, you can see that if we say that x times y equals to 60 นะครับ when y is 6, so you have x times 6, that is 60. So x is 60 divided by 6, then x is 10 นะครับ. So this is the way that we did, right? In order to find out the value of operand 1, you get 10 as this one. But in here, you can see that because they are just like the basic numbers, like 6, then you get 60 like this. You may say that, oh, that is easy. But what about, like I said, that the multiplication result is 62.75, while operand 2 is 7. Now, what about operand 1? Then you have to do the same thing. You have to divide 62.75 by 7, and then you get operand 1. You get the value of x, something like that. So instead of doing like this, we are going to use go-seek in order to find out the value of x, operand 1 in here for us when operand 2 is 7 and multiplication result is 62.75. Okay, now let me show you first how we're gonna do that. Okay, the go-seek, one thing that go-seek need to have is that the goal that you have got like this one, the multiplication result must be the formula. If it is just a constant value like 62.75 like this, go-seek cannot find the value for you because it doesn't know how 62.75 are from. The things that you have to do is that we just go to data, data tab. After that, we go to what if analysis again. You can see that we have scenario manager, go-seek, and data table. We learned for data table already. Now it's go-seek. You click on go-seek. There are 3 things that you have to enter. First, set cell. Set cell in here. We said that it's the goal of us. Cell G3 is our goal. Now it asks you that, okay, you would like to set the cell G3 to what value? Currently it's 30, right? But our goal, we would like to have 62.75. We set cell G3 to 62.75 by changing cell. What cell? We say that, okay, we would like to know operand 1. So we will change operand 1 to be any value. In here, I choose D3. I choose cell D3. I choose cell D3 in here. So before we do that, I forgot one thing. We said that, okay, we would like to know the multiplication of a result of 62.75 when operand 2 is 7. I forgot to change it to be 7 first. Okay. I say that, okay, I do again. I go to data, what if analysis, and go-seek. I set cell G3 to be 62.75, and I would like to change operand 1. Can be any value, I don't mind, but I want to fix operand 2 to be 7. When operand 2 is 7 and multiplication result is 62.75, what is the value of operand 1? This is what we want. Then I click OK. You can see that the cell is running like an animation in the cell D3. It's because go-seek is trying to run and test which value can give us 62.75. and you can see that right now นะครับ my cell D3 นะครับ that is value X stop already go seek stop and tell us that okay what's going on right now go seeking with cell G3 นะครับ we found a solution target value we want 62.75 and now the current value that GoSeek can generate for you is 62.75 นะครับ why is that why that it has to show current value because in some calculation นะครับ Excel can just like estimate the value นะครับ as close as it can for example some of the value Excel can generate นะครับ the closest one that is might be just like 1 or 2 decimal places that is different from your target value if it's acceptable นะครับ then you click OK if you're not okay you click cancel นะครับ something like this okay so in this one we get 62.75 we are okay with it then we click OK so what will happen when you click OK you can see that cell D3 shows 8.964 something นะครับ let me just like decrease the decimal points okay. so I get 8.96 multiplication result is what I expect I want 62.75 when operand 2 is 7 นะครับ this is what we want finally we get operand 1 already นะครับ so in the real world นะครับ what are we going to do นะครับ in this one นะครับ assume that you say that okay you say that okay you produce t-shirt and you say that okay each t-shirt it comes from like various components for example you have fabric you have paint you have the thread that you have to just like weave for the t-shirt and other things นะครับ let's say operation cost and then you say that okay each t-shirt give you let's say $1.50 นะครับ for the profit you say that okay on the next month you want the profit for like $600,000 you want to know how many t-shirts you have to produce when you have to use the GoSeek it can just like backtrack to find number of t-shirts that you have to produce okay now let me just do it again นะครับ some students ask me to just like redo this step okay firstly you have the formula first in here in this one I have D3 times E3 นะครับ and I have like one value that is fixed for example in here I said that I fix operand 2 to be 7 I want to know how much is the operand 1 นะครับ I want to know how much is the operand 1 okay so for example in here นะครับ let me just like change the value if I say that I have operand 2 that is 7 but I want right now I want multiplication result that is 122 sorry 120.5 okay what are we going to do in here I go to highlight on the cell G3 that is my formula go to data what if analysis and then go seek I set the value cell นะครับ G3 here to be 120.5 and then I say that okay I want to fix operand 2 but operand 1 can be any value that can make my multiplication result to be 120.5 นะครับ then I click OK you can see that it's running and finally it stopped and tell us that target value is 120.5 current value that Excel can generate for you is 120.5 as well are you okay with that so this one you can see that operand 1 นะครับ will be 17.21 if you are okay with that you click OK but if you are not okay for example you just like test only then you click cancel it goes back to the original state something like that for example in the meeting room, your boss asks you that, so I know that, okay, this month we can have, let's say, 1,500 for producing t-shirt นะครับ the profit for producing um 1,000 t-shirt is that we get $1,500. Can you just like tell me that, okay, I think on quarter 2 we would like to have 1 million dollars profit. How many t-shirts that you have to produce? Then you can just like go to go seek, and then you just like find that number for him, and after that, when you just like show it to him already, if he's okay, you, because he may ask you only, he doesn't really want to just like get that number, then you can click cancel นะครับ in here. Okay, I do it again นะครับ I click go seek. I want to set cell G3 to value 120.5 by changing the cell of operand 1 นะครับ in this cell D3. I click OK. Okay, now I get 120.5 already. So the operand 1 must be 17.2 นะครับ, something like this. Then this is the way that how GoSeek work. Now นะครับ what if the multiplication result here is not the formula? For example, here I have 62.75, right? I say that I want the result to be 120.5 นะครับ, and I allowed Excel to change the cell D4. What will happen นะครับ let's see นะครับ I just choose what if analysis and go see again. I set cell G4 to value 120.5 by changing cell D4. In this case, when I click OK, it shows the error immediately. The error in here said that cell must contain formula. What's wrong with it? The cell that Excel mean นะครับ is this cell ครับ it means this cell. Right now I type 62.75, it's not formula นะครับ then Excel doesn't know how to just like run and find the operand 1 for you นะครับ it's different from the situation that we had before นะครับ in the cell G3 it is the formula. So Excel will try multiplying 7 with like any numbers until it gets 120.5 and then stop นะครับ but in this one, in the cell G4, when you don't have the formula, Excel doesn't know how to just like run and find the answer for you นะครับ so that's why you need to have the formula นะครับ for the GoSeek นะครับ now let's see, why do I call GoSeek as a feature? You can see that you don't know what or how 17.71 come from, because before that one we may have like 5 and 6 นะครับ, as operand 1 and operand 2 respectively to get multiplication result as 30, but right now it's 17.21. so when it generates already นะครับ, and you click OK, you cannot reverse to see the origin of this value already. That's why I call it as feature in Excel นะครับ. it's not a function. The function for finding this two values is just the basic multiplication นะครับ but we use GoSeek in order to find this value. Some of you might say that, Ajahn, but when you don't see the origin, it is not useful for us, right? I will say that no, it's not right. Actually, sometimes you may not want to know how do you get this one, but you want to see the results more than just like the way how you're gonna solve this problem. You know the formula, but I mean like otherwise, if you would like to find 120.5, you have to trial and error on operand 1 until you get multiplication result. For example, suppose you know nothing. You know that you want 120.5. That is the operation, the multiplication between 7 with another value. So in this one you may try that. Okay, 7 times 10 is 70. 7 times 20 is 140, is too much. Then you may reduce from 20 to be 15, 2 less 16, 2 less 17. Almost correct. So it must be 17 point something. 17.1, almost correct. 17.2, almost correct. 17.21, almost correct. Something like that. Now you can see that I'm trying manually entering operand 1 by myself. But if I use GoSeek, it is a lot faster because I don't need to just like imagine of the number to enter in the formula in order to get the multiplication result of 120.5, something like that. Then I run it again. It's quicker. GoSeek, I want G3 to be 120.5, changing cell operand 1. Yeah, I get it already. So then I stop. As I told you, it is possible that sometimes the calculation from GoSeek may not be exactly the same as the formula that you have got. It depends on you whether you accept it or not in here. Okay. Right. For this first example, do you have any problems or you have any questions about this first example for GoSeek? If you don't have any questions, okay, let me just like give you another example for GoSeek. That is the real application of GoSeek that you may have use it in the future as well. Okay. Okay, this one I want you to try generating the profit by using GoSeek by yourself and tell me how many t-shirts that the company has to produce. I give you 3 minutes to do that 3 minutes to do that. Find out number of t-shirts for me. Okay. All right, some of you give some better, I mean, suggestion, good suggestion. You say that approximately or around. That's a good idea because t-shirt, when you produce, you need to have like the integer number to tell the number of t-shirts. The decimal points might have to be rounded. Wow, amazing. That means now some of you know how to formulate this GoSeek already that is good thing now let's see, okay, whether the way that we did is correct or not. Firstly the difficult part for GoSeek is how to set up the formula for it but I mean like actually if you understand the concepts of GoSeek already you just use your regular way of calculation in order to just like to do this kind of GoSeek straight away. We said that okay, number of t-shirt and profits per one t and total profits. Okay, I said that okay, let's see. If I have one t-shirt the profit per one t is 1.75. Total profit is profit per t-shirt times number of t-shirt. Yeah, okay, so this is just like my basic formula. You can see that normally the formula here is a referencing because the goal seek will try to just like try the some number on your reference cell in order to just like get the goal that you would like to have. In this one, the next thing is that I go to data tab. I choose what if analysis and then goal seek. I want to set the profit to be 1.5 million. I would like to change number of t-shirts because I know that the profit in this situation is fixed, is $1.75. So then I run it. You can see that right now in order to have this one, in order to get 1.5 million profit, I need to produce 857,142.85, and then I know that I have to round it because I mean like in order to produce a t-shirt, I cannot just like produce as a decimal point like this. I have to round. You just put equals to round. Followed by that number. And I don't want decimal point. I have 0 digits. I just round it. So I get 85. Let me just copy the formula for you. I get 857,143. Yeah, so it's the same as what you some of you just like show me in the chat box That is the good thing that you can do. Bear in mind for the goal seek, when I just like save this workbook and give it to you, you don't see how I use the goal seek anyway, because as I told you, it's a feature. When you just like use it already, later on when you just come back, you don't know how I generate this one, but you just know that actually the output is 857,143, just that. Okay, right. Okay, now let's see, we come to the last example for the goal seek that I would like to just let you do it. Just won't be long. Let me just save this file first. Okay, someone asked me to explain goal seek again on this example. I know that, okay, profit come from number of t-shirt times profit per one t-shirt, right? I know that, okay, originally one t-shirt I can have like $1.75 for the profit. So I set up currency. I just like set up the formula to be number of t-shirt times profit per t-shirt. Okay, this is the basic calculation, right? After that, I use the goal seek to help managing this profit. I know that my profit in cell G10, I want it to be 1.5 million. Then I just like set cell G10 to be 1.5 million. I know the profit of one t-shirt is fixed, but I don't know number of t-shirt because in the question it asks you for number of t-shirt. Then I allow number of t-shirt to be varied, but the profit is still $1.75. Okay. After that, I click OK. It will start running and finding the number of t-shirt that when we multiply with 1.75 it gives me 1.5 million like this. So then goal seek just like generate the number 857,142.857 for us. And then they say that I would like to round it because t-shirt has to produce as the integer number, something like that. So this is a goal seek for this example. Okay. Now that comes to the last example นะครับ so in this case นะครับ I would like you to find out the advertising cost. Let me just like copy this problem to you first. It's in the chat box นะครับ for your problem here. Okay, so let me explain to you first นะครับ in this example นะครับ in this one นะครับ assume that we have sales amount for $5,000 นะครับ okay, now we are going to formulate everything นะครับ in here. In this one it said that you have to find out the advertising cost amount นะครับ that is 15% of profit. Assume that cost of goods sold equals to 20% of sales amount and advertising cost is 15% of gross profit. You are asked to use GoSeek to find the advertising cost. Okay, so now let's generate all of the things first นะครับ okay, now let's find the gross profit first. Gross profit นะครับ come from revenue subtracted by cost นะครับ revenue นะครับ this is revenue นะครับ this is cost. Sales amount is revenue นะครับ cost of goods sold and advertising cost they are costs. We are going to just like calculate this. So what happened? The gross profit here นะครับ come from revenue นะครับ my one is D18 subtracted by cost of goods sold นะครับ and advertising costs. Cost of goods sold and advertising cost นะครับ in my case it is D18 นะครับ subtracted by D19 plus D20 นะครับ in here. That is for the gross profit that we have got. So anyone has a question about this formula? Gross profit is the sales amount นะครับ subtracted by cost of goods sold plus advertising cost. Okay. Now we said that okay, cost of goods sold นะครับ is 20% of sales amount is 20% of sales amount นะครับ so I multiply 20% by the sales amount. I get 1,000, right? I get 1,000. That is cost of goods sold. Now, what about advertising costs? Advertising costs in this case, you can see that the in the question it said that advertising cost is 15% of profit. 15% of profit. So it's 15% times D22 นะครับ. So this is what the problem told us. so everyone นะครับ let's try multiplying 15% นะครับ with the gross profit ครับ and see what happened. This is what happened when you multiply these two cells together. Actually, it shouldn't pop up anything like this, but what's going on นะครับ so everyone don't just click OK นะครับ read first what's going on. It said that there are one or more circular reference where a formula refers to its own cell, either directly or indirectly. This might cause them to calculate incorrectly. Try to removing or changing these references or moving the formulas to different cells นะครับ now let's see นะครับ you click OK. You will see blue arrows นะครับ the blue arrows when it happens like this on your worksheet it is the error นะครับ this error is called as circular reference error นะครับ circular reference error. It caused the calculation to be wrong นะครับ in which sense you can see that in here it said that advertising cost is 15% of gross profit. Now it shows 0. Is 0 15% of 4,000? The answer is no. And why? The formula 15% times D22 generates 0 for us. Because it is the circular reference. What does it mean by circular reference? You can see that circular reference means that you refer to a cell. That cell refer to you. You can see that the gross profit refer to advertising cost as well, because advertising cost is a part of the calculation in the gross profit นะครับ you can see that D20 นะครับ or advertising cost is in the gross profit formula. And you can see that advertising cost is 15% of gross profit. How can นะครับ the advertising cost be a part of the gross profit นะครับ and be calculated from 15% of gross profit as well นะครับ this one is not correct way นะครับ this one is not correct way. So the way that we have to do นะครับ is that advertising cost here you cannot calculate directly from this one นะครับ you cannot calculate directly from this one. So the things that can help us is the goal seek is the goal seek. In this one I give you 10 minutes to think about it. How can you set up the formula in order to find out the gross profit, to find out the advertising cost and gross profit for us. Finally, what do I want you to have? I want you to find advertising cost and gross profit for this problem ครับ find the advertising cost and gross profit for this problem นะครับ the hint is that we use GoSeek to help. So let's spend 10 minutes to find out, and when you get the answer already นะครับ type your answer in the chat box please for advertising costs and gross profit ครับ so let's start now ครับ now it's 9:08 so I'll just like set the time to be until 9:18 นะครับ so everyone please find out the advertising cost and gross profit for me. So this is what I want. Find the value in the green cells for me นะครับ so the formula that we put 15% times D22 is not correct already นะครับ you have to find somewhere else in order to find out the advertising cost ครับ so as I told you the very the difficult step for GoSee is that if you have to just like formulate the formula to calculate first before you can apply the GoSee in here นะครับ okay now you can see that our problem we got before is circular reference problem, because if you just like try to multiply 15% นะครับ directly to gross profits นะครับ it costs the circular reference because actually the advertising cost is a part of the gross profit anyway นะครับ so that's why you cannot do like this directly. What should we do then นะครับ let's think first before we can apply anything. We say that okay, we will have like two amounts นะครับ that we have to think of. The first one นะครับ I said that this sale is X นะครับ if I say that okay, if I have gross profit that is Y นะครับ the point that we have got is we know that X over Y นะครับ is the percentage is that percent, right? Why so? Just think about this ครับ cost of goods sold is as well. If you just like we say that okay, cost of goods sold is 20% of sale amount. So that means if you divide cost of goods sold 1,000 by 5,000, you get percentage of the cost of goods sold, right? That is 20, like this. You get 0.2 or 20%, right? Same idea ครับ if you can find X over Y นะครับ you get Z percent. So in this one, okay, we find Z percent first over gross profit นะครับ advertising cost divided by gross profit. It will be the advertising cost percentage. So in this one, everyone, you get this idea? If I divide the advertising cost by gross profit นะครับ we get the percentage of it. What do we want? We want gross profit นะครับ sorry, we want advertising cost to be 15% of gross profit นะครับ it means that this one is our goal ครับ we want our goal to be 15%, right? We want 15% when Y นะครับ our gross profit is 4,000. X can be any value นะครับ I don't mind. I want to know that if I have X dollars advertising cost, it must be 15% of this gross profit. So I said that I want to change the sale X to be any value that conform to this formula นะครับ when I divide X by 4,000, I want to get 15%. What is the value of X? In this one, if you don't have any ideas about GoSeek, you may try typing some numbers. For example, if you type 1,000, oh, it's 33%. It's too much. Hang on, let me just change it to 3% first. Okay. If it is what to say 400, 11% too few. 500, 14%. So it must be 500 something that will make the advertising cost to be 15%. Okay. So this is the basic ideas that we have to do. When we get this idea already, you can see that this one, to calculate the advertising cost percentage นะครับ is a formula. The green cells, one cell is fixed, that is gross profit. Another cell can be changed or can be varied นะครับ that is advertising cost. So in order to find the advertising cost here, I will apply GoSeek. Then I just go to นะครับ I just go to data, what if analysis, and then GoSeek. Now I would like to set the sale นะครับ percentage here to be 15%. I want to update advertising cost to be any value นะครับ that makes the percentage to be 15%. Then I click OK. You can see that in this case นะครับ it will stop and show us that okay it's 521.40 นะครับ or actually it is 521.5 something like that. But the point that I have to tell you is that okay in here นะครับ the target value is 15% นะครับ current value is 15%. that means it is okay นะครับ in some situation นะครับ when you calculate the advertising cost sometimes you may not get like 15% sharp like this. You may get like 14.98% or something like that. You have to just like know that whether you can accept that value or not นะครับ and then I click OK. And after that I may just like do some rounding นะครับ or just like decrease the decimal points, something like that. Okay. Right. Okay. So this one, you can see that we can get the advertising cost that conform to the rules that we said already. Advertising cost is 15% of gross profit. So let's try if you just like multiply 3,478.59 by 15%, you get 521.78 นะครับ. That is just like similar to advertising cost that we have got. The difference is just like the decimal points only นะครับ the cents unit only. If it is acceptable นะครับ then you can just like use this one. So this is the closest numbers that my computer can generate for the advertising cost that is closest to 15% นะครับ already that we would like to have in here. Actually it is 14.98%. okay. Yeah. Some of you may get like different numbers from the generation of Excel. You may not get 14.98. Some of you may get 15% sharp. Some of you may get 15.012 or something like that. It depends on the configuration of your computer นะครับ so that means in this one it's just like this is the closest numbers that my computer can generate for the nearest advertising costs that we want to have. That is around 15% นะครับ for 15% of the gross profit already. Okay, this is the way to generate the GoSeek to help us calculating the problems like this ครับ Okay, then up to this point, do you have any question ครับ for this example? If you don't get how we're gonna do this one นะครับ please refer to the video clips that I'll upload to you นะครับ on today's lecture, so that you can just like repeat the step of like how to formulate the percentage of advertising costs and the GoSeek to find the advertising cost once again, and the problems why we do not enter the formula of 15% times gross profit in the green cell นะครับ for the advertising cost. Okay, right. Okay นะครับ that's it for the GoSeek feature in Microsoft Excel นะครับ we can just like do like this in order to help generating or finding some values นะครับ in here. Okay, right. Okay นะครับ so for the GoSeek, do you have any questions ครับ bear in mind นะครับ for the GoSeek, if you generate already, if you save it นะครับ and you close the Excel file, once you open it up once again นะครับ if you reopen the Excel file, you don't see already that how you did with the GoSeek and you cannot reverse it นะครับ because it is not a function. You can see that if you just go to see it, it's just D20 divided by D22. It doesn't tell you how do you get 521.41 นะครับ, something like that. Okay. All right, so if you don't have any questions about this, let me continue with the next topic. The next topic that we have to learn is what we call lookup reference. We call it as lookup reference. So everyone, please insert any worksheet and name this worksheet as lookup references. Lookup references. The lookup references. Let me talk about this kind of functions. Now we come to the functions for looking up the data that we have got. For example, in order to just like find out the grade of the students, I may just say that, okay, I want to know that who is student ID, whose student ID is 6380123. I may have 6380123 in one worksheet, and then I just like want to look it up and find out that, oh, the name of that student is Mr. Andrew John, something like that. So that means we call it as lookup reference. In order to look up the data, it's like we are looking at the database and then get the data that we want. In this class, we will learn for 4 different functions in order to do the lookup reference. That consists of function HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, index and match. Index and match go together in this class. There are 4 different functions that we have to know. These 4 functions are different in terms of the orientation of the data and the manner how Excel look up the data for you. We talk about the first function that is called HLOOKUP first. The HLOOKUP or what we call as horizontal lookup. We call it as horizontal lookup. Let's talk about the manner of the data that we need to have. Okay. Okay. Suppose we have the data like this. We say that, okay, we have some data in here. We have the data in here. The first row might be your student ID, and the rest of them are your score, like this. Suppose I want to know your score. The things that I have to do is that I find out the data that is your ID first, that is located in the first row like this. And I found that, hey, this is your ID. Then I just tell the people that, okay, the score of that student is here. While the next student, if I say that the next student ID is star like this, I just like have a look on the first row. Oh, star is here. The score that I want to show for that star student is located there. In this one, you can see that the orientation of the data, that is the key that you would like to search for, spans in the same row like this. The orientation of the data like this, they span horizontally. So the technique that we have to use in order to look up or search for the data, we have to use a function that is called HLOOKUP or horizontal lookup. While another kind of data, another kind of orientation of data might be like this. Let's think of your signature form when you have to sign your name in. When you have to sign your name in. The data might be like this. You say that, okay, the first column is your ID. and the score can be in other columns. Suppose we say that, okay, this is total score is here. So suppose we have many students in there, in this table. Suppose I want to know the total score is student ID 5. The things I have to do is that I have to look through the column ID and find out that, okay, which row store ID 5. I can find that, okay, it's here. And then I can report that the score, the total score is student ID 5 is star like this. So you can see that the data in here, the key of the data that you would like to use for searching is located in the same column. It spans vertically. In order to just like use the function to look up the data that we want to, we have to use VLOOKUP function instead. You can see that the orientation of data are different. One span in the same row, the other one span in the same column. That's why we have to use different lookup reference function to get. While index and match are the functions that when we have the data like this, I said that, okay, we would like to get the data. We would like to get the data from row number 1, column number 2 of this table. Row number 1, column number 2. The data is stored here. Is heart shape. Then I will handpick from the row number 1. Sorry, row number 1, column number 2. In here, yeah, it's heart shape here. So this one, we use index and match to handpick by specifying say row number and column number of the data to get the data from your table. So we use different techniques in order to search and then get the data from our data table that we have got in here. So in this one, I will start talking about the first function that is the HLOOKUP first, so that we understand how HLOOKUP works. Then today I'll start with like the easy example of the HLOOKUP function first, and then we just like go to talk about like more details, or more example next on. In this one, assume that we have the exam table, exam result table like this. Okay, the data should be in this way. Okay, so when you have this one already, in this one you can see that the first row is the name of a person. So that means in this one, if you would like to use the HLOOKUP, we will look up by the name of a student to get his or her score. For example, in this one, if we would like to find its biology score, if we would like to find its biology score in here. You can see that in here. Suppose I said that the score is the student name is Ed. Okay. So what are we going to do? In this one, let me just like talk about the function HLOOKUP and its format a bit. For the HLOOKUP function, you go to insert function box and type HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP consists of various arguments that you have to know. It consists of lookup value, table array, row index num, and range lookup นะครับ lookup value, what does it mean? Lookup value is the key that you would like to search for นะครับ in HLOOKUP นะครับ the lookup value must be on the first row. In this table, you can see that first row, it consists of the name of the student, right? Okay, this is lookup value. For table array is a table that consists of your key together with the data นะครับ that is this one นะครับ for the word math, French, physics and biology, this is not our data นะครับ it's just the heading only นะครับ our real data is in here นะครับ the next one we talk about row index num. Row index num means that on your data table นะครับ which row that you want the data when as the output นะครับ in this example นะครับ the table here that I just like draw in the red color here, the first row is the name of the student, we call it as row 1 นะครับ next is row 2, 3, 4 and 5 นะครับ bear in mind that HLOOKUP doesn't use the row number นะครับ in Excel here นะครับ we don't use row 9 to 13, no, we use a newly created table and use a relative row number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 นะครับ, like this. So for example here, if you want to get biology score is in row 5 นะครับ, so in this case the row index num is 5 and range lookup นะครับ range lookup it is a logical value true or false นะครับ we have two modes นะครับ in order to look up range lookup if it's false it's called exact match. Exact match means that the key that you are searching like Ed must be matched with the name or the key in your table. Ed and Ed, yeah, they are matched. Then it will report the score for you. But if the student that you just like would like to use to search for is Edward, and the name in the table is Ed, this one exact match cannot find the value, it shows the error นะครับ this is exact match. And the other one we call it as closest match. The closest match means that you have the nearby or close name like Ed and Edward. Excel นะครับ HLOOKUP will think that they are similar values and then they report the score of Ed instead of Edward for you. It depends นะครับ sometimes we would like to use nearby, sometimes we would like to use closest match. Sometimes we would like to use the exact match. Depends on our intention to use. And on the next class, I will show you how do we gonna formulate the score for each student นะครับ by using exact match. And then I'll show you that if we use closest match, what will happen for this one นะครับ so นะครับ I would like to stop talking about the HLOOKUP at this point นะครับ we just like begin the HLOOKUP part like this นะครับ and we'll continue on the next class